Let's get into the latest around the Seattle Seahawks, and is it time to trade Russell Wilson? I can't even believe I am uttering these words out of my mouth, but that's what we do here, and we're going to cover the latest. So, NFL.com said that the Seahawks, they should trade Russell Wilson right now, which is definitely pretty interesting, right? Because anytime you're talking about potentially a top 5, top 3 quarterback, and people are saying, yeah, you got to get rid of him right now, okay, I'm listening. I'm intrigued. The report is this, that Russ is not only once out, he's cooked in Seattle, which I thought was kind of a funny play on words because obviously it's always let Russ cook, but now it sounds like he's cooked in Seattle. If traded, the Seahawks would have to eat $39 million in 2020 and $13 million in 2021 if they trade him. So if they trade him in 2020, $39 million they eat. If they trade him in 2021, then they have to eat $13 million. So obviously, it's a lot more likely or favorable if they trade him in 2021, right? Right? So that's why I thought it was pretty interesting what this quote was here from Adam Schein on trading Wilson. Before free agency even begins, we already have Watt joining forces with Chandler Jones in Arizona and Matthew Stafford linking up with Sean McCoy in Los Angeles. This further cements the fact that the NFC West is the best division in the NFL, bar none. And it only adds to the pile of reasons why it's time for Seattle to go bold, why it's time for reigning division champs to shock the NFL world. The Seahawks should trade Russell Wilson. Not just like maybe they should. He's simply saying that they should trade Russell Wilson. So what I wanted to be able to do is comb through this entire piece that he had and find the 5 biggest reasons why he wanted to do it. And he's basically breaking it down, and he's simply saying the Seahawks need to trade Wilson because they can't win right now. And the first reason is because they're in a tough division. Like, I get the NFC West is tough. There's no doubt about that. The Cardinals are continuing to get better. The 49ers, they were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and if Jimmy Garoppolo can stay healthy and that defense can stay healthy, it's another very talented football team. No doubt about it. And plus, with the Rams getting Matthew Stafford, it's tough. But for you to say that the Seahawks can't win right now, I thought was pretty surprising. The other reason he lists, they don't have a lot of money in cap space, $3.54 million. So if you really want to be able to go out and bring in some more talent here, either to build the defense or to build the offensive line, you don't have a lot of money to be able to work with, and Russ has been a phenomenal player. But if you've watched the Seahawks play, he is holding a lot right now on his shoulders, and maybe that's why he's starting to break down, because he's too tired from carrying the team. The third reason here, they have so many players about to hit the free agent market that are talented players. I mean, we're talking about, I can't believe it, Quentin Dunbar, who is actually one of their top corners, Shaquille Griffin, Chris Carson. You got KJ Wright as well. I mean, multiple players that are going to take some money to be able to bring them back. And if you're right now kind of on the fringe and you don't know whether or not you're a successful team good enough to win a Super Bowl, I mean, if you lose all those players, are you good enough to continue to compete in a very tough division? So it is definitely something to think about. And draft capital, you don't got none. Like, the Seahawks have definitely struggled in the past, I'll say drafting in the first round, but you don't have a first-round pick in 2021 or 2022 because of the whole Jamal Adams trade. So I get that you went all in, and that's great. Like, I am all for teams going all in. But when you don't win the Super Bowl or you get knocked out of the playoffs a little bit earlier, it does beg the question, was it worth it? And giving up 2 first-round picks for a safety that is not very good in coverage, sure, he's good at getting after the quarterback, was it worth it? And then the final reason, again, is poor offensive line. If you don't have high draft capital, if you don't have money to bring in some top free agents, and with all these rumors going on right now with Wilson, can the Seahawks build that offensive line? Can they assure themselves that they're going to be able to protect Wilson? Those are questions that I can't answer. So, like, when I first read the article about, hey, it's time to trade Russell Wilson right now, I was like, this guy's crazy. But then when he really breaks it down, I'm like, okay, it actually makes a little bit more sense for me. So what about this? Will Wilson retire with the Seahawks? Y for yes or N for no? Excuse me. The big underlining story here is, like, the reason why he's saying it right now is because if Adam Schein, who's the guy who wrote this article, is simply saying that he doesn't believe that Wilson is going to retire as a Seahawk. So if you can trade him in 2020, sure, you're going to have to eat some money. But if this is your ultimate plan, do it now instead of wasting time. So Y for yes, N for no. Will Russell Wilson retire with the Seattle Seahawks? We're going to dive into some more quotes here, again, from Adam Schein on trading Russell Wilson. I firmly believe Russ is gone. It's either this offseason or next. So one more time, if they trade him this offseason, it costs $39 million. If it's next offseason, it's going to cost them $13 million in terms of dead cap space. So why wait and delay the inevitable? Okay, interesting. Here's the other part. Now is the time to strike. Seahawks get picks, flip 1 or 2 for your next quarterback via the draft. It's time to let Russ cook elsewhere. Flip the script and make a self-serving move for your team, Pete Carroll and John Schneider, because Russ is messing with your brew. If you're looking for an awesome deal, look no further. NFL shirts under $18.74. If you got a favorite team, which I imagine y'all do, go to chatsports.com/NFL shirts because they just released these new shirts, and they like to call them their X-ray shirts. I think they're super dope. They come in sizes from small all the way up to 4XL, and in fact, Bronco shirts are even cheaper than $18.74. And if you're a Buccaneers fan, I've even seen $14.99. I mean, if you need an NFL shirt, usually they're $25, I believe, but they are on sale right now. They come in all different colors, all different sizes as well. Chatsports.com/NFL shirts. If you want to spam in the chat who your favorite NFL team is, please go do it. I definitely would appreciate that. One more time, chatsports.com/NFL shirts, where you can get these X-ray shirts under $18.74. But hurry, because I do know for some NFL teams they are going quick, so don't be the fan that misses out on this awesome deal. Those are some really, really strong comments. There's no doubt about that, because anytime you're going to talk about somebody who puts up numbers like this, it's interesting. Also in the article, it breaks down how Russell, basically for 2 straight years, comes out guns a-blazing, where this dude was the leader in terms of winning the MVP. And he didn't even get a single vote again. Sure, they fell off a cliff. Sure, the numbers that you see on screen are great. He also has a lot of talent around him. Tyler Lockett, extremely underrated. DK Metcalf is now the new #1 receiver for this football team. But if I'm Seattle, if I'm Pete Carroll and I'm some of these coaches, I'm like, okay, Russ, look, if you think you can go somewhere else, you think you can do it, maybe you try to do it. But on the other hand, if I'm Russell Wilson, I'm like, imagine what I could do with an offensive line. I mean, right now, Wilson, he is on pace to be sacked the most in NFL history. That's tough to be able to deal with. So all these rumors, man, they really started to pick up. They really started to circulate around when Russell Wilson, apparently his team approached and said that we would be open to moving on from him. And these are the 4 teams that we'd want to be traded to. And remember, Russell Wilson does have a no-trade clause, so he would be able to pick which team he wants to get moved to. And the teams that he listed were, or his team, the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, there's a lot of, rumors always around Derek Carr and what they're going to do with the quarterback position. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Chicago Bears, I mean, if he would go there right now, he would be the greatest quarterback that franchise has ever had. And the New Orleans Saints. They're in cap hell, but they're going to move on from Drew Brees, and maybe they could try to finesse their way. But, I mean, Sean Payton and Russell, that'd be one heck of a duo. So we found the latest odds here from Wilson and his 2021 team. It still looks like, obviously, that it's minus 1,200 for the Seahawks. I will say this, though. When I checked last week, the Seahawks were minus 2,500. That's a big difference. So, I mean, these rumors are starting to become more and more true, and we always say, where there is smoke, a lot of time there's also some fire. So, originally, there was like a little bit of kindle around the whole trade rumors for Russ. It's starting to continue to build and build. The Raiders they're at plus 300, and I don't really know how much that's going to change because as long as Derek Carr's the quarterback, I feel there's always going to be trade rumors around him. The Denver Broncos at plus 500. They were at plus 800 a few days ago. They jumped all the way up to plus 500. The Cowboys, plus 650. The Bears, plus 800. I mean, again, you're looking at multiple teams here that continue to have higher and higher odds for potentially going out and getting Russell Wilson. So give me a number, percent, okay? What is the chance that Wilson is traded? I want you to comment below. Some of y'all are probably still going to type 0. Some people might go ahead and type 100. But if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said 0% chance. No way it's going to happen. I can't imagine it happening. But I do think we always need to remember, in the National Football League, anything, and I mean anything, can happen. I mean, we saw DeAndre Hopkins get traded. We've seen bigger name players get traded as well. So, percent chance that Wilson, he's traded. This is also a pretty cool quote here from Albert Breer on chance of being traded. If you'd asked me a week ago, I would have been 80-20 that he stays in Seattle. Now, I'm closer to 60-40 or 55-45. I think the Seahawks are sick of the drama. So it's not quite a coin flip, But if you're getting this close to where he could potentially be moved, and I do trust Albert Breer, I do believe what he has to say, and if Russ is cooked in Seattle, and if the Seahawks are kind of getting sick and tired of all this Russell Wilson drama, hey, maybe we will be seeing a Russell Wilson trade really, really soon.